You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that.
It's time to talk about it.
Pull up a chair and take a seat.
We're serving up recipes for life.
With Hampton University's Dr. Richard Mason and Dr. Tamara Williams.
Welcome to the Sunday Brunch.
This is Dr. Tamara Williams.
And this is Dr. Richard Mason. And welcome back to the table for another edition of Sunday Brunch with the Good Doctors.
The Good Doctors.
How
feeling good.
Listen, feeling great. That's
I like that even better. I like that even better. We're feeling great today.
Yes,
we're feeling great today.
Definitely feeling great.
Blessed today. Mm-hmm. Every time we get to sit and have a conversation is a blessing.
Exactly.
So feeling excited about today.
I tell folks, when you wake up on this side of the dirt, that's another day to get it right.
An opportunity.
Exactly.
Versus an obstacle. Yeah, so
how was your week?
My week has been a very busy week. But I don't know any weeks that aren't, truly. So
that's it. It's like how do you compare one week to the next week when you're always on the go?
Always on that race, always trying to make a difference, trying to get better at the things that we do and perfecting life as we become perfected. So
exactly,
it's a busy week, but if it wasn't busy, I probably would wonder what is really going on.
Exactly. You know me. I don't look for rest.
Listen, I have learned we do not look for rest, just like we also appreciate being seen and not viewed.
Exactly,
yes,
exactly.
Indeed.
We have to know what's going on in the world and know how we handle our own stuff.
It's getting crazier. I can't say it's getting crazy because it's been crazy.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things going on in our community. Our community, not just around the world, but just even our specific community. There's
exactly.
people going through all these different traumas. There's a lot of things happening.
Yeah, we're right here in the 757. I mean, the things that we are seeing.
We didn't say 804, right? Just the 757.
Exactly. When we start talking about some of the community shootings, the gun violence, things of that nature, it's really hitting home right here in our community. And I've received so many calls with people asking, how do we solve this problem? How do we deal with this?
Because it is our problem.
Exactly. And I know, you know me. I just say what I have to say.
Please do.
You can agree or not agree.
Not our responsibility.
Exactly. You can disagree with me. It's okay, but I have to put it out there on the table. We have to own our mess.
Yes.
And sometimes...
And it is a mess.
Yeah, as adults, as parents... community leaders, we don't own our mess. And we have to take stock in our community and what we see and really get involved. I grew up in a time where your neighbors knew who you were. We may have been outside playing, but your neighbors knew who you were. And somebody else's mom would deal with you in a manner that showed love. They would discipline you. And call your mama.
Tell on you too.
Exactly.
After they discipline you.
Yes, call your mama, call your daddy. Sometimes take you to the house.
On the street.
Exactly. And so I don't feel we have that sense of community.
We can't even let our kids out to go anywhere on our streets the way that we used to. Back in the day, we would walk to stores. We would do blocks and corners. We didn't have cell phones, right? So we would be out and about. We just were in before the what came on?
The lights. Okay, the street lights came on.
Your parents were not concerned unless the street lights came on and you were not there.
Exactly.
And that would be the question. Then they would call houses to figure out who has seen you last. Then you would show up. But in today's society, our kids are not showing back up. They're disappearing. People are doing things.
Right.
It's not the same type of environment. Our kids don't get to navigate crossing the street. We have kids who are in high school who still don't know how to cross the street.
Exactly. And that, when you look at how things have changed, how do we get back to a place where we have the fundamental principles there, not necessarily the same situations or scenarios, because we know things have evolved. And I'm one that will definitely tell you when your problems evolve, your solutions have to evolve as well.
No doubt.
That's growth. That's growth.
You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That is the definition of insanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I say that about my eating. I eat the same thing and can't figure out why I'm not losing this weight. But you know what?
But it tastes so good.
Exactly. It gets there. Well, you know where I'm headed. So
Yes. Look, before you go and get your plate, let's talk about who we're going to have on the show today. Hold tight, because you know I'm going to ask you to bring me back some a biscuit, some type of bread, whatever they have out there. But specifically, I'm so excited that we have Hakima Muhammad with us today, and she is with Sister to Sister, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about mentoring, and we're going to talk about things in the community and community violence. We all know the importance of mentorship. She's probably even going to tell us that Sister is so much more than just that. So I can't wait to hear about that. But we do know the importance of mentorship. Your friends love you just the way you are.
Right.
But your mentors, they love you too much to leave you where you are.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. It's about change.
It is.
It's about changing with the time, becoming more than you even thought you could be.
That's what they see.
Yes.
They see more in you.
Exactly.
But you can't listen to just any and everybody. Everybody can't be your mentor. And you can have multiple mentors, but mentorship is definitely important and necessary for success.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It fills in some gaps. That's how I feel about it. Because we don't all come from the same place. We don't all have the same resources. And mentorship allows you to have access to some resources that you wouldn't ordinarily have.
Exactly. You should have a growth mindset in your relationships. If you're not growing in your relationships and in your circle, then you need a new circle.
Hello, somebody.
You need a new circle. And your circle should also benefit everyone in the circle. It shouldn't be always a situation where one person is always receiving.
The queen bee.
Exactly.
Of the circle.
Yes. You have to change that mindset. Definitely have to change that mindset. So, but
welcome to the table, Hakima. Bro, I'm going to let you grab your plate really quickly.
Yes. I'll be back and I'll bring you a biscuit.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. Cornbread if you see it there today.
Got you covered.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome, Hakima.
Thank you. First, I'm going to welcome you in the greeting of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you.
Alaikum salam.
Praise be to Allah. So my sister knows. Thank you. That's a good brunch. Good way to start today. Because we understand that our city and our community needs peace. So I think now when we greet people, we definitely need to greet them in peace. You know. Some people say hello, well, hell is low. So we try to stay away from that.
Well, can you say that one more time?
All right.
We want to say hello, but hell is low. We're not trying to
as low as it gets.
Mr. Keeper came to the table, guns are blazing.
All right. Literally, with the fire of the lowness. Yes.
Yeah. But, you know,
Hell
it's just
is
an
low, for
honor and
sure.
a privilege to be here among friends. I love my HU family because this program would not have originated if it was not for HU. Even though I live in the southeast community of downtown Newport News, and the program originated out of the Moulton Community House, but prior to that, I had started Stop the Violence, and we was going throughout the 757 doing little workshops, forums, talking about stopping the violence. So when people talk about stopping the violence now, I know I'm regressing, but I have to talk about this because you said something about violence. When we talk about violence, we've always been having this issue because before I started Sister to Sister in the early 90s, students were stabbing each other. A little boy got killed on Pembroke Avenue at Quick Snack, I think like 12 or 13, over some famous Amos cookies.
Yeah, that was
We
one
did
of
a
my
rally.
classmates from Kickerton.
We did a rally on that. Young boy at Phoebus got stabbed in the neck with a pencil. So, and I set up a scholarship way back then because I've always been dealing with violence. And I got I had the local ministers in the community, and then, like I said, I was working on campus. My Hampton University family, they came to my aid, and by talking about violence, it started going down because the people was aware. But just like anything, when you start something, you don't stop. You continue on. But we have a tendency to say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But violence will always be in our community if we don't continue to check ourselves, if we don't continue to check our school system. I don't say it's the school fault. It's all of our faults because we know the propensity of something happening is real. And that's based on economics. Some of it is lack of understanding. And I'm going to go into why I do what I do. So, Sister to Sister came about at the Moulton Community House in downtown Newport News. Behind the Moulton was housing projects, which was Dickinson Court. You had Dickinson Court, Harbor Homes, Ridley Circle, Stewart Garden, and on the other end you had Marshall Court. So Mr. Linwood DeBrew, he is the executive director, the owner of the Moulton, he said, Sister, what did you want to do? And every day I see these children coming into the Moulton. But I said, no, I want to work with women. I said, because I can reach the women, everything will be a breeze. But the women were not engaging. So my program was called Black Women in Focus. If black women could focus on themselves and bring out the best of themselves, then we could change everything overnight. But that didn't happen. The children started coming to the building. So I'm sitting there contemplating, so what is it I'm going to do? So he said to me, don't talk about it, be about it. I said, okay, I'm going to be about it. So he said, I'm going to give you 23. I'm not going to call them the worst children, but some children that really had some
challenges.
They were selling drugs. They were fighting. These kids were smarter than Yogi Bear, And I'm like, whoa, okay, I got this, Because one thing about growing up in Newport News, especially downtown, we know each other. So
that's where you're from.
Yeah.
You grew up in okay.
So there was never a thing about me not being able to feel comfortable in my own skin. But as I was saying, I was also working at Hampton University. So I said, he's going to give me 23 kids, and I have to make a reality for these children. I said, okay. So I'm on campus. I said, look, I need potato chips. I need this. I need that.
She went right to the food. Right to
Don't they always go to the belly?
To the food.
That's a bargaining chip.
And they said, well, Hakima, what is it that you're doing? I said, I'm going to start a program. So one day, I was working at University Police. This young professor came into my office, and I looked at her. I said, hold up, you a soldier. And she's a Delta.
You better know it.
And I said, you know what? She said, she had just graduated from school in Ohio. She was a psychologist major. She was a doctor in psychology. The youngest one coming on campus in 1992. I said, you know what? You and I need to get together. And we got to talking. I was telling her what I wanted to do. And she was all in. I said, you know what? You have the paper. Let me be your voice. And we bonded like that. And so I came back downtown. I said, look, I got Hampton University now. And the next thing I said, you know what? I have to have someone to help. So the adults were helping and everything. But then I said, I was a dorm sitter. And in watching the students in the dorm, I saw some things that needed to get fixed about us as women. And I studied the females, and I said, wait a minute. You allow yourself to be called anything. That's not happening on my watch. I said, you know what? Black Women in Focus starts here. So I brought it to the campus. And like I said, all my friends are gone now, back from 90s, but I went to every dorm, and I held meetings. And that's how the mentoring started. And the students, they were so engaged, but they were afraid to come downtown. I said, no, I am you, and you are me.
They said, wait a minute, we were not invited.
But the good thing about that is that students came from California and everywhere, and some of them, and everybody thought that everybody went to Hampton had money.
No.
But what you found out that they came from the same environment. So it was easy for them to come and say, you know what, that's me. I can do this. And they came and the students set up programs and all this type of stuff. So those 23 students that the brother gave me went from 23 to 43. In a month, I had over 200 children that we was working with.
Awesome.
And we gave them, they ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had them all day from 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock.
It was a summer program?
No, man. Yeah, it was a Saturday program.
A Saturday program. Okay, thank you. I was like, wait a minute.
It was a Saturday.
Who released these children?
It was a Saturday program. So we had them from 9 to 4.
Yeah, that's nice.
And so I'm picking back and forth. So the students on campus, I said, wait a minute, I got all these males. I got these females. You can't keep putting a male over female. So I came back on campus and started another program, Black Males in Motion. So I started going from the male dorm to the male dorm to the male dorm, recruiting. And they said, we got you. So the students came on. So now I got over 100 sister, 100 brother. So now I got the students. We on campus now. We're rocking in a roll. You know, they feeling good about themselves. You know, they came up with ways to. They had open mic, and because they came from each discipline, the children were able to get their math, their reading, their social skills.
So they were tutoring.
Tutors,
Gotcha.
right.
Yeah, and our partnership with Dr. Ward in fine performing arts. So the
Yeah,
children
Dr.
able to
Karen
get-
Ward.
Yeah, they were able to get into the play,
Another
the
Delta.
audition. See what I'm saying? All my friends are Deltas, right? And,
Let me tell you, some of my best friends are.
and then I was able, so they were able to partnership and do things, so that helped. So then, I just love my program because something make me cry to see how far it's come over these years. So when you think about sister to sister, you have to think about the concept of each one teach one. So then I had Effie Berry, I had Judy Braywith, I had all of them. We used to do lock-ins over at the old student union way before you had that new thing. And I mean, it was just a family thing.
Yeah.
And I had Dr. Kalan. I mean, everybody on that campus, man, they were my go-to people. And,
We know Linda.
and then I'm talking about her and her husband too.
Alan, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I really miss him because he would come downtown. He would come downtown to the Moulton and play the bongos and do the
Yes,
sit-ins.
he did play
we
the
had
bongos.
He would come
Yes.
down there and do sit-ins with us. So the student was exposed to so much because I understood that Hampton University was the nucleus of this community. So what do? You take the campus and you blend it into the community. You have a powerhouse. And what people didn't understand is because the children didn't get access to this, it was like a treat. Oh man, I'm going to Hampton University. I'm going to do this. Of course you're going to HU. I said, as long as I live and breathe, you all are going to be a part, of the HU family.
They're home by the sea.
Yeah, and so we did that. And so in 1995, we became chartered on the campus of Hampton University. Now we are a campus program. Somebody said, what exact date did it happen? I can't tell you. I can tell you 1992. I started because my daughter was a freshman on campus. And in 1995, we got chartered, which meant that now all the students understand your hard work in the beginning in 1992 got you to 95, where we were chartered, meaning that they saw our work. And, and I tried to stay consistent. And throughout the years, people continued to give things to me. And they said, well, how do you run a program with no money? You do it out of love. You do it out of need. Because I've had so many volunteers from the Moulton. Like I said, we went up to 200 children. We moved over to the Seawaldo Scott Center for Hope. Because the Hope, that building had classrooms and they had buses. So they would take the vans and go and pick up the children and take them to the Scott Center. So they take 3 or 4 trips. They take the van to bring the kids on Hampton University campus. The students are all in the parade. So it was a lot of growth and building. So now you talking
And exposure.
Yes. And like I said, and I still continue to do the Stop the Violence Forum. I started doing banquets so the kids could get that type of exposure and how to go out and do things.
And etiquette,
And they're free banquets, and the parents get to dress their children, and they
Yeah.
love that. And the students, they basically run the program. So my Saturday program became Super Saturday, Supreme Unity, Perpetuating Eternal Revolution. That became the base.
Okay.
Because I understood, as well as the student and Dr. Pamela, and let me go back, Dr. Pamela Hall, that is the co-founder with me. She's a psychology major. She's at Barry University in Florida, Miami. I got to give a shout out to Pam. Because without Pam, guidance and friendship, this wouldn't have come to fruition. Because a lot of the students that came through us, they're doctors, they're lawyers. I've not had any pregnancies, no high school dropouts, no gang banging. So I could stand on my program because I followed each other. I just got a an email from one of the students who's trying to be a teacher who just graduated from HU. She wants a resume. I said, yeah, because this is where you get jobs. This is a job. This program gives you the leadership skills so that you can go into any line of work. Because I'm going to allow you to utilize your skills. And some people ask me, well, is this program only for children at economic disadvantage? No. Nobody knows they're poor unless you tell them. This program is open up to all children, regardless. And I think that's where that stigma gets attached to it because I'm located in the Southeast community. But I'm not going to leave my base to go to another place because they deserve things just like everybody else. And I think that's the best thing about my program is because we're universal.
It's right there in their community.
Right.
But not only that, Norfolk State, that's where my home by the sea, as I matriculated there, plus I had to go back and get some more education because you can't help them children unless you help yourself. So I went back.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you
right.
got to show them better than you can tell
Right.
them.
So I went back to Hampton as I was working. I got my bachelor's, my master's, my education specialist and counselor. So I'm a teacher and a counselor.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm ABD. I'll go back and get that doctorate.
Listen. Those are some terrible letters to ever put together. No one in their lifetime should ever have those 3 letters together. ABD. You shouldn't be all but anything. Like, that is craziness to me. You don't seem to me to be afraid of work.
Oh, no.
You
None
don't
of that.
seem to be afraid of putting in the work. And so we need you at this table and encourage you in all ways possible to get that done. Because you're not all but anything. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so and that's where I am. But when it comes to this program, it has evolved, and now I'm not going to say at the pinnacle because we're still growing. And then another thing we have to understand: when we say that word "sister to sister," and we're going to take the Swahili word for it, is umapatusa, one out of many.
I like that.
Yeah,
Patusa.
Yeah. Dr. Hall, she become up all kinds of stuff for us.
But
And
that's a part of the community,
It is,
and
it
it
is,
creates
it
a
is.
language and a dialogue that you can jump into and attach yourself to.
And then you can also say umapatu is we are one, our women are the foundation. Yeah, so that's a part of it. And like I said, we have this. And then you said, are we a mentor program? Of course we are. We mentor to you. But the concept was each one teach one. So if I have a Hampton University student, then I need people like you to mentor to them because they need to get to where you are while they mentor to the youth. They have to get the youth to where they are. So if I get a freshman, that freshman will get a mentee and will have that mentee until she becomes a senior. But like I tell them, don't leave them. Transition to somebody else. Get a phone number, get a stamp and an envelope, and continue. Because I have a lot of mentors now who have came and got their student, helped them go to college, and that's how this works. So that's helped eliminate all of that high school dropout because I have these students. You can really work with.
They're
these
invested
children.
with these.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. That's the biggest piece. When you think about the biggest
Consistency.
investment that you can make is in people.
Yeah.
And in children. And so that's what I see in this program is, like you said, it's not just a mentoring program. You're invested in the children that you're working with.
And the mentors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a wraparound service.
It has to be a wraparound service because what I found to realize that the students need support too. We may think they're on that campus and they don't need that support because they're not going to ask for it. But when I plug into them students, they say, well, Ms. Muhammad, I need this. That's when you go here, you go here, you go. Well, you know everybody. No, I know what I need to know them for the right thing.
That's right. Yes.
Right.
And you're known to help and assist. And so when people give you things, they know that you're going to use those resources in a positive way.
And that's what Sister became a resource for people. And another thing, the student also got to meet the parents. So we're able to build up relationship with the parents. Because I should tell the parent, I said, you just let me take your child. You don't know me. You need to know me.
Now, that's
Don't
some
let
craziness,
anybody
yes.
just take your children. But they said, well, Miss Muhammad, we trust you. I said, well, then, since you trust me, then you need to show up for this. You need to show up for that. And that's how I got the parents involved.
Like parenting classes and those type of things.
And that's
yes.
what I'm about to say. That's the thing. When I know growing up, I could not go to someone's house that my parents didn't know. If I said I was going over to Jeff's, my parents were, okay, well,
Who are Jeff's parents?
who are his parents?
And who
you know?
lives in Jeff's house? My mama needed
Exactly.
a breakdown. She wanted
Exactly.
the blueprints of the house. Let me
That's
get a
it.
structure.
Right, and that's the piece that we have to make sure we're getting to a place where if a parent is bringing a kid to the program, what do they know about this program? What do they know about the people running the program? Don't just use sister to sister or brother to brother as a
babysitting.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's not what this is all about. This is how we grow as a community. It's not just the children. It's when parents bring their kids in for therapy, they're surprised when I talk with them.
It's necessary.
Exactly.
You have to, because I need for you to know that it's not just about your child. I'm invested in you also because I understand that you have wants and needs that need to be fulfilled. So that takes me to the next part of what Sister does as far as being a mentor. We have She Can Sister Circles. And this is designed for women to come in and talk about things that affect them. What goes on in the room stays in the room, so I can get you the resources that you need.
It's like a group therapy session.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have life skills and workforce to try to help you get jobs, do resume writing. Let me back up.
Skill
I was up a
building,
center.
yeah.
I was up a center called the Sister Resource Center.
Okay.
So you can come in and you can learn resume writing.
Where is the center?
2009A Jefferson Avenue.
Okay.
We just had our rededication ceremony last month, December the 11th. And we were blessed to be able to get a building.
That is a blessing.
'Cause I wanted a place for people to come. There's no cost. I don't charge anybody. If you want to come and use the building, just come. You give us $5 donation, that's fine. I'm going to keep them doors open because every time I get paid, the rent get paid, the lights get paid, the water get paid. The building's going to stay open because I understand the need of the people. And when you understand the need of something, you can't put it into dollars and cents because I believe that at some point in time, I'm going to get the type of money I need to open up something bigger because this is almost 30 years that I've been doing this. And I've seen the growth and I was blessed.
And you are still excited.
Yes.
I'm feeling
Yes.
that energy come over. I can barely sit in my chair. I feel like I need to stand up, jump around, run around a little bit. You can still feel that excitement. And I think that is what draws people in. They're going to be attached knowing that you care that much. How can I not care about myself? How can I not get invested when someone who I don't even know is bringing this type of energy? You are donating from within yourself. Maybe not always from abundance, but in your mind is the thought of this is necessary. This is my part. This is what I can do.
And you have to do it because, there are times when families come to Miss Muhammad, my lights is off. Okay. God, I know you can put it back,
Woo! I'm not encouraging everybody to do that. That's
No,
not
I
the
don't
work of
encourage it.
everybody. Somebody gonna get in trouble if you do that. But I'm so
No,
glad that
what
God blesses
happens
you to
is
do that. Yeah.
Is that, and I
Yeah.
look and I sit there and I contemplate, I said, God, you know what?
Woo.
I've sent them to all these resources and they getting to run around. I said, but you know what? To whom much is given,
Much is required.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to keep that in my mind. So I work with the homeless.
You don't become faint and weary in your well doing.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Because
Yeah.
A
I
ball
know-
of energy.
You hear that?
A ball
I know.
of energy.
I know. I should be throwing it down, right?
No. The community needs people like you. That's why we're having this conversation today at the
Exactly.
table, because this type of energy is indeed contagious, right? And so a lot of people are worried about what they can and cannot do. And what we're showing them is you only need to be one person with a purpose.
right.
And then, your gifts will make room for you.
Right.
And if your why is strong enough, whatever you got to do doesn't matter. And your how will indeed show up. And that's how you're working through this
I
process.
appreciate
But here's
that.
the gotcha. She's doing it from a place of love.
That part.
And not from a place where I'm coming in to be your savior. I'm coming in to judge you. And that's the piece that I think happens when we're talking about building a community. People feel as if, you're coming over from the university. You have a whole lot more money than I have and this, that, and the other, and you're coming in to quote unquote save me. No, we're trying to save ourselves because, like you said earlier, all of the students that are over at HU don't come from money.
A
You
lot
follow me?
of these students
exactly.
don't come
and
from
that's
money.
that misconception. But another piece that I heard in there that's very important, especially as it relates to the African American community, when you talked about having this sister circle and coming in and whatever says, we say in this room, stays in this room, that gets to that judgment piece where people feel judged sometimes when they come into therapy or they're reaching out to ask for help. When you set up programs like that where there's no shame to come in and say, listen, I'm struggling this week.
And you see other people struggling, so you're not struggling alone
That's right.
or in silence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You normalize the struggle so that you can do better. We don't have to hide these things from ourselves because they're going to manifest in other areas. And so
And
this
the
stuff
children
out there,
see
that's
it.
where-
Yes.
And the
that's where it
children
comes-
see
because,
it.
every year I do an education day, the Boys and Girls Club, and during the education day we have a youth forum, and with this forum we have the students ask questions. I invite some of the community leaders to sit on the forum. But this past summer, the kids had a question was, why do my father smoke? And why did my father drink? Because we write the questions down, and the little girl says, well, my daddy got fired from his job, so that's why he smoked. The other girl said, my daddy can't get a job. Then one child said, well, why does my father don't pay child support?
Woo.
So why are children asking these questions? Because they're hearing it, they're hurting, the family is hurting. So then when I hear this, then I immediately, when this stuff is over, I go to that child and say, I need to talk with your parent. Mother, father, what's going on? How can I assist you? Let me help you get a job.
So we can
You know?
change this narrative.
Right.
Yes.
And
Because
that's
your
what
child is aware of your struggle, whether you're speaking it or not. They're hearing it, they're feeling it, they're sensing it, and they know it's a problem.
And they want to help. And the question was, why?
Yeah.
You know, I can't tell you why, but she said, well, my father's been locked up. He's not paying child support. I'm saying to myself, okay. So that means father did that. But if you got a criminal background, the odds are so hard. And I tell people, I say, let me say something. Everybody may not get hired, but let me show you how to make a job for yourself. Look,
You're
let's go
teaching
get
them
this.
entrepreneurship.
That's what I was about
Right,
to say.
those type of things.
Let
yes.
me show you, because see, I know
A
the
legitimate
struggle.
way to generate
Right,
income.
right.
And like I got a call from one guy. I walked into Piccadilly. Miss Muhammad, I'm working there. I said,
Oh, my
God is good.
goodness.
'Cause I
Woo.
also worked in the jails. I took my Each One Teach One to Newport News City Jail.
Where haven't you gone with this program?
All
Hakeem?
around the community, because the
Listen.
community is all around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I worked with Gabe, and I was doing my program in the Newport News City Jail, and the guys, it was all men because the women didn't come, but the men they would soak this stuff up. We had good dialogue.
They want to have the conversation.
They
Right,
did,
right.
and when they got out, I'm going to look you up. I can't tell you where I'm from because
Yeah.
but everybody knows.
Oh, they gonna find
from.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And the good thing about it, though, but they didn't come back. I said, 'cause if I see you on the street, you know where everybody is. But they came out and they found jobs, and I was able to help them, get clothes and stuff like that. And and then they opened up that Four Oaks, and I was with them at the initial when they first opened up Four Oaks day support for the homeless to come in, for different support stuff. And there I go in there now, and I talk to the people. We feed them every second Sunday of the month, or whenever I got extra food, I go over there and drop it off and stuff like that. I want the people to know that the more you give, the more you get back. So
You wake up every morning. What else can I do?
I do.
How else can I help? Yeah.
'Cause you sit in the house and you ride down the street. I said, oh, God. I said, okay, I'll be right back, y'all. I go home, cook some food, get the go plates, and then go back up to I said, okay, here go the plate. There's 10 of y'all in the corner. Here, there's 10 plates of hot food. Because I know that you're going to be out here all night. And at my sister building, I call it a red barn. Sister Russ told me don't do that. But I have it's a little red building. It's like a little house. And we put food in there. And I ask people, when you come past my sister resource center, put food in there because 24 hours a day, people can come get food
Tell
out
people
to
where they
eat.
can put this food. Tell them where they can put it.
You can bring the food to 2009A Jefferson Avenue to the Sister Resource Center, and on the outside of the building, you're gonna see a little little hut, and you can put food in there, non-perishable food. You can do this 24 hours a day because I don't want anybody to be hungry. Preferably have it with the pop-up can tops because they don't
Yeah.
have
Can opener.
openers.
Yeah.
And they can have crackers, whatever you give them, they'll be appreciative. But we want to make sure that this little building stay full of food, because they can just open it up, grab food, and go.
What a blessing.
So we got that set up.
What a blessing.
Every time I talk to you, I find out something
I'm
different
getting
that
excited.
you're doing. You know?
I'm getting excited. Students, anybody can go and drop food over there.
And go get some food.
And go get some food.
Now, see, I knew about her going home and cooking and taking 10 plates up to the corner. You know, I knew about that stuff that she
Praise
does.
God.
You know, but that's ingenious. You know, in terms of that, because
They
what
can
I
go
see-
in there and shop. Essentially, I need something.
Right.
I'm hungry, and they know that if they go there 24 hours a day, whenever their stomach is growling,
Sister's got food for them.
sister.
And the ironic thing, the guys on the corner said, "We got you. You are protected." They said, "We cleaned up around here. What you need, Miss Muhammad?" You know, they said, "Sister Muhammad." You know, and it makes you feel good to know that.
They show you a level of respect.
Right.
Yeah.
And on my side of the street, they keep it nice and clean. They keep it nice and clean. They keep it nice and clean.
But they see your
Yes.
heart, and that's what.
Don't
that's
play
what the
with
thing-
Sister Muhammad.
Yeah, but that's what this life is all about. When you show a person your heart and show them you care, they will do much more than you would ever expect them to
And
do.
they do. They really do. And I'm so
You get that
grateful.
love all back.
They do. And this will make you go back and do it again.
Yeah.
And get-
Your
and
behavior is
sometimes it makes
being
me very
reinforced.
emotional
I'm getting emotional now. What
because,
talking
you
about?
know, this wasn't easy to do this. Because people come at me from the left and the right. They say, shut it. I'm not shutting nothing down. Sometimes I have to fight people to do what I have to do. You know, but I know that in the end, that I love my city. I ain't talking what I do in Hampton. I'm talking what I do in Newport News. 'Cause
Yeah.
the same thing I do in Newport News, I do it in Hampton too. I work both cities. But when you think about a community that's full of violence, when you think about a community where the children are suffering, when you think about a community where people write you off, then there has to be somebody coming to the community to say, God didn't write you off. I'm not going to write you
see
off.
you.
You
Right.
have to, that's right. You're not the, what was it? The set by the door, the spook that sat by the door. You're not the spook that sat by the door. You are visible. Your voice will be heard. And I was telling my community, if you can't speak, I will speak for you, because I'm not afraid to speak, because I know your pain, because your pain is my pain. And I've had many times when I got phone calls, somebody got shot. I looked at the body on the ground. I'm like, come on now. I'm tired of funerals.
And hashtags.
Yes, because when a community is hurting, it feeds on itself. I can hurt you. I don't even know you, but you look like me, and I look like you. But the pain is so intense, so I'm hating myself. So I'm taking that pain out on you, and it's not personal. It's just something that we do. It's that transference that we do.
How do we change that mindset? Because this is the piece. We have to get to a place where we are caring more for the children. We're paying attention to what we allow them to see and what we're pouring into them. When you see mom, dad, uncle, and aunt at home fighting, drugging, drinking, those types of things, how do we get the adults to start paying attention to these types of things and pouring more into our kids? We understand that there are those community, those adverse community situations, poverty, lack of education, lack of opportunities, those types of things. So we know that we have to pull these resources together. But how do we get people to take advantage of it and say, listen, there's a better way to do life than
How
what
do you
you're
get them to
doing?
buy in?
Exactly.
The only way you can get them to buy in is like I tell our community leaders, take that suit off, knock on them doors, and talk to them people one-to-one like they're human. Don't be looking for their votes. Look for that inner person. Until we start doing that, to let them know you're more than a vote. You are a human being. We can shackle all of this. When we're talking about a man putting his hands on a woman, brother, why are you hitting the woman? Because of your weakness is in yourself.
Your own
How do we-
insecurities. Yes,
That's
what's
right.
going on?
How do we teach a man to be a man? When we start having these candid conversations, because right now, we're trying to put together 1,000 men to come to Pastor Leonard's church I'm gonna give it a shout out for everybody today. But it's important that men come together to talk about men things. We're asking for 1,000 men. That'll start there and then branch out. Let's do some atonement. Let's start asking for forgiveness for ourselves of what I did to you. If I wrong you, I need to step up to the plate. And we think about the Million Man March. He told us to go back into our communities. Mr. Farrakhan said, go back into your communities and clean it up. Father, adopt children. Do what you need to do. Go to a church. Go to a synagogue. Go somewhere. But people not trying to call on God. They call on everything but God. Why? Now you got marijuana legal. Everybody getting as high as they can get. They make it
Say
think.
that. That's the truth.
No, you say you want to change, but we have to be the change. But at the same time, we have to say, why do you bring this stuff in my community? Why on my corner, when I go into the store, I see more wine, I see more beer, I see more cigarettes. I don't see nothing healthy to eat. You put a dollar store in the community with that food that's not healthy, all that high salt, that sodium. You don't even put a drugstore down there. Now you coming for Burger King. You gotta look into your communities and see what they're putting in there that's detrimental to your health. And you think you're getting something, and they're only getting by. They pacifying you.
So that sounds like you're basically saying we've got to hold our electeds accountable,
Everybody.
our city government accountable.
You have a
as
whole lot of
well.
activism in there.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the piece that I think we don't come together to do that. How do we pull all of this stuff together? Because there's so much in there. It's that whole which came first, the chicken or the egg. We're spinning our wheels trying to decide which came first, the chicken or the egg, versus just realizing we now have both. How do we manage both of these things?
Putting ego
And we know
down.
eggs cost too much right now. You know what I'm saying?
Putting ego down. This is not about your ego. This is not about that title on the back of your name, because what we don't understand, the same thing that hits that community is going to hit your community.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, you might have money in the bank today, but if that bank decides to crash, if Wall Street crash, and you don't know how to survive, a poor person knows how to survive with or without money.
Listen to me. They know how to be a base and a bound. You understand?
Right.
They know up and down. when you've never had it, then you have it and you lose it, you can still recover. But if you've always had it, then you lose it. Ooh, those are the people who have a harder time recovering.
And that's what this is all about. We have to sit down and put ourselves in their shoes. So when we talk about our youth, and the youth is so important to me because I know that we can reach our youth. But at the same time, they see the lie. We live the lie, and we keep trying to tell them, do as I say, but not as I do. You can't. That phrase is gone.
Yeah.
And kids
use
know
that.
the difference.
Yes,
Right,
they do.
right, exactly.
They know the
You
difference.
can't use that anymore. You know, either you tell the truth or you don't tell the truth. So that's a part of what I do, prison reform. And now I was blessed to get this grant from the city of Hampton. News. It's the Gun Violence Intervention Program, GVIP. They gave me $100,000.
Congratulations. Look, you know what she did with nothing, so you
Right.
can see, you about to see what she can do with $100,000.
I'm going to bust
You
the
about to
move.
turn out. Yeah.
But I'm humble. I'm very humble with it. I have an after-school program. The children come every day after school.
Really? Where is this after-school program?
The after-school program is at my Sister Resource Building at 20098 Jefferson Avenue. And parents can come fill out applications for registration for their children. I'm also working with Pastor River Taylor's. And I'm at his church too. That's Bethlehem Judea Ministries. And that's at 4215 Roanoke Avenue. And now I'm moving back over there towards the Boys and Girls Club at 629 Hampton Avenue, and then we hit Aqueduct. But now I'm spreading out. But the blessing is that I also have this program at my school. So once to twice a month, I do my DVIP program at Sedge Elementary School. I have to thank my illustrious principal, Jackie Barber, for giving me the opportunity to bring HU.
She said, don't do all of this over there and not do this here
Right,
too.
exactly,
And you work here
exactly.
too? She said, oh no, you shall do this here too. Because these
Exactly.
students are from that area as well.
They are. And
Yes.
those that can't get there can do this. And, just working with people, they want me to bring to other schools, but I'm only one person. I can't spread myself too thin. But I'm hoping that if you get the energy that I have, that you'll make the sacrifices. Because, sometimes on Saturdays, I have classes I need to go to. And I said, God, you know what? The child or the class, I have to take the child first because I know that's my future. But I started to say this when I was talking to them, they said, wow, Ms. Muhammad, you're a history. I said, no, we're all history. I said, no, that was board. I'm going to get it right. The 1954, when they turned over board versus the education.
Brown versus the Board of Education.
Brown versus the Board of Education. That was me, 1954. The 54, we changed the reality. So y'all should be honored to be in school. So why y'all acting up?
I love that you were born on MLK Day and his birthday. You share the same birthday essentially.
Yes,
I love that, and
exciting.
it could be how you resonate within that spirit of activism and the community, and it may be something about that, Ma.
Right.
But I
And the
also
people,
tell- But also coming from segregation to integration and watching all of these things, you do have some carryover. And I'm saying to myself, I can't allow things that happen to you that happen to me. So how do I make you feel good in school? How do I make you want to come to school? How do I make you want to be the best you can be by loving you and you loving me and me loving you back? The parents loving me and me loving the parents back. Meeting the parents where they are. If you want to stop the violence, then start with meeting families where they are. Stop having, and you know what funny though? People be talking and they act like the people in the community don't hear them talking about them.
Oh, they know.
In the grocery.
If a dog bring a bone, he'll carry a bone.
Right.
Thank you. So if you're not going to be a part of the solution, please don't be a part of the problem.
There you go.
And that's what my program is all about.
Solution focused.
Solution focused.
Yes,
Solution focused.
indeed.
You're the psychologist, you know.
You already know. We know.
And as a mental health counselor, I understand how important it is. And these children's minds are so fragile. They are very fragile. And we think they processing. A lot of their cognitive abilities isn't there. And then when you think about COVID shutting everything down, we found a couple of things. Parents weren't used to being with their children. Husbands wasn't used to being with their wives. You stuck in the house all day long. So all that tension and stuff builds up.
Isolation.
Yeah, we've been talking about
Yeah,
that
that's
before on the shows.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now you coming back to school, no social skills.
A lot of the children face deficits, and not just
Right.
the children. People in general are facing
Right.
deficits from that lack of communication or the
Right.
way in which we were communicating
I mean, we have
through a
problem.
screen. There's some people who still like to exist
exactly.
through these screens.
Exactly. I know that might be the wave of the future,
You
but
know?
I tell you that whole Zoom stuff and
rough. It's rough.
we're gonna do these video chats and all. I need to see people.
I need to touch and agree.
Exactly.
You
That whole
have to-
touch
you
and
have
agree. You need to be right there with folks.
You have to have
You know
that
what I'm saying?
human, that human touch.
Hey, let's
I
sit
like
at the
to really
table.
be in the
Right.
room,
Let's
not
sit at the
pretend
table.
like we in the same room.
Robotics, everything robotics. But that's where we are with this program. Thanking God for the many years that we've been doing this. I'm thanking for the community for their help, and I always thank the parents for allowing me to work with your children. Always thanking my HU family, those that's here and those that's gone, for believing in me and for continuing helping me with this mission. Because we're just at the pinnacle. There's more to do.
You're going to continue to grow. There's no doubt in my mind that you've already done so much that I can't wait to see what else is next. You're going to continue
So those
to
of you
grow.
that's listening, if you're on HU, you know who I am, Hakima Muhammad. Sister to Sister and Brother to Brother. There's two programs. One is to build stronger men. The rites of passage for black males. Just like there's a rites of passage for black females. But we take everybody, because everybody need to have a passage. But I understand that in my community, there is a need for us to stand up and be accounted for. And not to continue to lag behind and say, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, I'm here. I have a program to design to help us be better than what we were yesterday. It's not hip-hop. No, I don't do hip-hop. I don't do rapping because that's for the other people. I'm about good sound investment in children.
People said that's for the other
She
people.
threw that smoke on that music for him. She's like, look, if this is what
for
you
the
coming
other
for, I'm
people.
not teaching them the hip hop, dance,
Right,
rap, none of those things.
I'm not doing that, because they say music is the way to get to our children. Of course it is when I give them some classics. When I give them something
She go-
light in their minds. lesson.
All right.
You know, I'm not going to feed children that negativity. Now, like I tell my students, now you want to rap some math to me, have at it. If you want to rap some history to me, have at it. Because I was showing them some stuff, some videos for back in the day.
Was Schoolhouse Rock? You know, with the Schoolhouse Rock on them?
I'm just a bill.
We were having a lesson, and I said, you know what? Let me show y'all a video. So, self-destruction.
Oh yeah, we're headed for
Yes.
self-destruction.
All right.
And they said, "Whoa, Miss Muhammad." I said, "See, they were talking about violence back then."
That's right. That's
I
right.
said, "See, but they don't show that." See, they had a positive message. And then you had Melly Mel and Material 5, the message. It's like a jungle sometimes. It made me wonder how
I
I
keep
keep
them
them
going.
under.
All right. And she said she not gonna rap. We getting the lesson. We getting the lesson.
Right.
But it depends.
She don't do this mumble stuff that's going on right now.
No,
That's
they
what
doing
she's
that.
saying.
They're doing
There's
that.
a difference between rap, hip hop, and trap music. And see, that's
There
why I
you
think
go.
you're going with
Yeah.
this.
There you
That
go.
way I think you're going with this trap
Yeah.
music.
She does not condone that.
Exactly.
Support that.
Because they be
All
coming
right.
at me, and I said, wait a minute. By the time you keep feeding your mind with this, you're going to start talking like this, and you're not even realizing that you're saying superlatives that you shouldn't be saying. And the parent thinks, okay, Mom, cut that radio off.
Unless it's Sunday brunch.
Yes, tune into Sunday brunch.
Right.
Feed off of this positive message that will enlighten the mind and fortify the spirit.
I know that's right.
But this is what this is all about, and I am truly thankful for the opportunity to do this program, to be able to speak to the community so they can really get to know who I am and what I do. Because like you said, they really don't know because I don't talk about myself because
You're going to let the work you do speak for you.
right.
Yeah.
I can't.
But this is not talking about you. You are the catalyst. This is about transformation. And that's the piece that's been going on in this community over the years. The component in which you've been able to work within the lives of those that you have encountered. Just imagine if we were able to magnify this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we have things such as this that work, we have to make that investment. So I'm glad to see that Newport News provided you the opportunity with the Gun Violence Intervention Program grant, because I'm hoping out of this we're going to see more of what sister to sister can do in this community, because what happens in one community spills over into another.
Right.
Yeah.
In Hampton and Newport News, we are pretty much the same community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we are because see, I was getting the mini grants from Hampton, and I was working from out of Phoebus Community Center, and I brought the same program to Phoebus. But unfortunately, we didn't get it again. But don't mean I'm not going to bring my program over here. But I
Right.
can't use Newport News money in Hampton.
Right.
However, it's the concept.
So I hear you say Hampton need to give you some money. I hear what you're saying.
Hey.
Bring it on back to
Bring it
Phoebus
on back.
community. Yeah, it's worthy.
I don't want, but whether I get money or not, I'm never not going to stop doing what I do because it's imperative that
The need didn't change because the funding didn't come through.
Never that.
Yeah.
No, because I've always did it from out of my own pocket, so I
Right.
will continue to do that. And I said, as long as I have my health and strength, as long as I can get up and go to work, if I can go to the store and buy a bag of potato chips, I can take that same money and go invest into a child. That's just the way I have to look at it. What is needed? This for bag of potato chips or this child? Well, the child going to win every time. They're working on the Boy and the Girls Club on Shell Road, so I'll be back over there, working and stuff. Because my children grew up out of that club over there, Shell Road. So it's just like Hampton, like coming home, because I grew up here in Hampton. I started school on Union Street at Union School. So I've been in Hampton all my life.
Wow, yes.
My sister, Minister Walker, she had the barbershop right there on campus.
Yes, she did.
Nouveau U.
Yes,
so
Nouveau
I've
U.
always been here.
I used to get my hair cut when I was in school. Right
Quite
over
a few
there.
people did.
Yeah.
So when I think about Hampton, I have a lot of love. But when I moved into Newport News, my parents had a barbershop up on Jefferson Avenue, 28th Street.
So you come from a history and a family of people that was about the community too. They were servicing the community too. So that's where you've evolved from. Because haircuts are important. That's a staple part to our
Yes.
community too. When you look good, you feel good. You're nicer to people and they're nicer to you.
But I had no idea that this was going to be my forte because I didn't know what God was going to send me. And then I have a daughter who's now following in my footsteps,
Really?
She likes, my daughter Walida. Yeah.
We'll have to have her come and talk with us.
When she started, I'm like, oh, what? You really gonna do this? And she loves children, and God, you don't know what God has in store for anybody. But each one of my children are unique because I have one daughter who's a special education teacher. One daughter
that's
getting ready to
special.
retire from the military. So I've been truly blessed. I have a grandson at FEVA. He's got 13 full scholarships.
Wow!
Yeah, he's a
Congratulations.
All right.
And he signed in to go to James Madison.
Okay.
Awesome.
I see the blessing. They said, Nana, you always doing something. Nana. I said, no, I do it for you. So if you see what I'm doing, that will make you want to do more. And I had to teach them how to do community service. And then my other granddaughter, TT, she... that's my first granddaughter, so you got the first granddaughter. But she's been my ride and die person.
And TT,
Ride
she
and
is
live.
smiling as she's talking
Yes.
about you. That's what I want you
Ride
to see.
and
We
live.
can see the excitement in her eyes.
Because she's my little poster child. But when I started these programs, it all started because of violence. It was all about violence, and I had to find a way to reach us. And then it turned into sister to sister, brother to brother, a resource center, feeding the homeless, going to the jail. Sheriff gave Morgan get us a van every year. Morgan give us a van every year for he gives us a bus for 55. They take about 45 kids to Washington D.C. So people invest in us. So I thank y'all.
No, we thank you for being here at the table with us and, sharing with us information about everyone in the community who's just pouring into Sister to Sister and what Sister to Sister is pouring back into this community. So I'm thankful. I think we had a really, really good brunch today.
I'm full.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to the next time.
Exactly. So we want to thank you for joining us today and come right on back here next week at WHOV 88.1 FM.
The essence of HU.
Keep you forward.
Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
Thank you for joining us at the table.
Tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. for more delicious topical recipes for life on the Sunday Brunch.
On Smooth 88.1 WHOV.